Good afternoon, SKEA members. Today embarks a historic moment for SKEA, our first strike authorization as a Salem-Keizer Education Association. We need every single member to vote. We need to make sure our district understands our collective power so that we can continue to have them at the table and push them into a fair contract. I know that there are a lot of questions about all the what ifs. What I can tell you right now is concentrate this week, get all members to vote. A yes vote means we continue. A no vote means we lose our collective power and we'll have to accept the district's latest offer. Beyond that, we'll get more information to you. I do know that there's still a lot of confusion around the FTE language and why it's so important. So I'm going to turn things over to Maraline, our Vice President, who does a great job explaining the ins and outs of FTE and why it is important to vote yes on this authorization so that we can push the district into better and fair language.
Hello everybody. I want to talk to you about the FTE issue because we've had so many questions and I know it's confusing. But please believe me when I say this is potentially the most important issue that we're trying to resolve in this contract. But before I can explain where we're at today, we have to go back a little bit in time to the 2020-2021 school year when the district first attempted to implement this new FTE idea. We were in the middle of comprehensive distance learning, and they decided that since teachers were in front of students for shorter periods of time, they could pay them less. We challenged this because so many of our part-time folks were hit so hard. We filed an unfair labor practice. It went before the Employee Relations Board, and they sided with SKEA against the district. And it is significant to note that not only did they agree that the district was trying to implement an unfair change, they also did so blatantly in disregard to appropriate protocol and policy, so that the board tacked on an additional percentage to the money that had to be paid back. In total, it was about $750,000, and each individual person received their back pay plus 9% interest. That's how much it affected our employees. Fast forward to April 6th, 2023. This is when we began bargaining our current contract. We've been going almost a year. Shortly after we started bargaining, the district sent us a notice telling us that they intended to implement their FTE policy on July 1st, 2023. So we found ourselves back in front of the Employment Relations Board, who heard our case again and agreed that the district did not follow correct protocol. We were in the midst of contract bargaining, and anything related to FTE should have been in the regular contract bargain. So we stopped the outside bargaining or expedited bargaining that we were doing on that issue and rolled it into our current contract bargain. They must include that. And that brings us to today. We have, for the past approximately 2 months, because that's how long it took the district to get around to actually discussing this very important issue, we have been going back and forth with language and proposal exchanges with the district until last week, when they determined that they would simply remove the FTE language and leave it at that. However, we believe that is equally concerning, and I'm going to explain why. Here are some of the pitfalls of allowing the district language to be in the contract, so before they removed it. First of all, secondary part-time teachers could very easily lose pay and be paid only for their time in front of students, plus an additional so generous half hour a week. We figured it out. It's significantly less than the teacher would receive under the current system. This is easy to employ. They've done it in the past. We believe they will try yet again. Secondly, we know that elementary specialists, our music and our PE teacher, we believe their workload will likely increase with no corresponding increase in FTE. For example, I'll use music. Currently, elementary music, to be considered full-time 1.0 FTE, supports 20 classes of elementary students. That means they teach 2 music classes per week for each group of students, or 40 30-minute music lessons. That's what we have currently, and that is 1.0 FTE. The district has indicated they would like to increase this to 25. So a full-time elementary teacher, same pay, no increase in FTE, would now be supporting 5 additional classes and teach 10 additional 30-minute music lessons per week. That's concerning to us. Same pay, more work, not fair. The district has been making a number of statements, including videos from our superintendent. But I want you to pay careful attention to what the district isn't saying. What aren't they addressing? We know, because they've said, and the superintendent has said, made a video specifically, that they won't make full-time into part-time without notice. And I added the without notice because that was in their printed materials, but not in the superintendent's video. This means with appropriate notice, they could do this to any SKEA member, to any licensed staff member. Secondly, the district has said they will make anybody who is currently 0.9 to 0.99 full-time FTE. That's fantastic, and that's a win for those members. They may be assigned additional duties, but if you get additional pay, it's okay to have some additional duties. What isn't okay is to not address 0.875, because in our calculations and in our publications, this went out in the newsletter, a middle school teacher in the current middle school schedule could be required to teach full-time 5 classes, yet have their time adjusted to be only 0.875. This falls outside the conveniently identified words of encouragement from the superintendent. And this is our concern. There is way too much wiggle room. There are too many loopholes for the district to reduce FTE for us to be willing to either accept their previous language or the fact that they've removed their FTE language. That's my next point. No FTE language is just as concerning. They have tried to implement this twice in the past. The one time they were able to carry it into fruition, our members were cheated out of almost $750,000. Don't think they won't try it again. We absolutely believe they will. My mom always says, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, and the district previously has tried to implement. We believe they will do it again. Please vote to authorize this strike. We are hopeful it doesn't come to strike, but we need this leverage to get appropriate FTE language in our contract.
So now that you have some of that more information, please vote. If you have additional questions, your strike captains or your brats, they have information for you ready to read, to ask questions. Please vote. Thank you for all that you do, and we look forward to these strike vote results on Friday.
Thanks.